Hello and welcome to the jury roundtable for 1984 Trouble in Paradise. We are here to discuss the merits of our final three, which is Jenny, LJ, and Taisha. So we've got all eight of the current jurors here. One more juror will be joining them tomorrow night. As of right now, all that they know is that Taisha won part one of the final head of household competition. Part two has happened, but they do not know the winner of it yet. I will let you guys in on that at the end of this jury roundtable. But for now, I will hand it over to you guys to discuss the merits of that final three. So I will mute myself and let you guys talk.
For starters, I just want to say, I am extremely high. So if I laugh at any on times I'm not supposed to laugh, that's the reason why. Okay. Good.
Okay,
Who do we
period.
want to start with?
Who do we want to start with?
Let's start with LJ.
Well, yeah, and I'd like to know, I mean, I know what he lied to me about, but you guys were all I would like to know what he did because I'd like to know what he did. I'm lying to everyone.
I mean, I think the better question is what didn't LJ lie about?
Yeah.
Because I truly don't think that anything he said in the game was like at
Genuine.
any moment truth. I feel like he only had one allegiance, and it was to Jetty. I think that he tried to make fake connections to connect with people. I just don't really get his game. I know a lot of people were saying that he was like throwing competitions, but that doesn't really make sense because why would you be throwing competitions when you're in danger? I think for LJ to be able to win this game, for me personally, he's really going to have to do some explaining because I just personally don't see any logic to any of his gameplay personally.
Well, did he maybe feel comfortable throwing if he was playing the middle and felt like he was working with everyone and didn't want to put blood on his hands? That's the only thing
Well,
I'm thinking.
LJ told me in my goodbye message he was throwing every comp.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because LJ was
I
in
know
trouble.
he could have gone over Benji, so I don't know that it was to throw every comp because also it makes him kind of look a little like a weasel now.
But
Yeah,
why
no,
every
it doesn't
comp? Why would you throw
He
every comp?
told me he's been throwing comps. I don't know if he meant every year or what or not. Because my goodbye message from LJ just really sabotaged all of his chances of me ever voting for him.
I agree.
So it was just it didn't land the rationale. I could tell he was one, trying to suck up, and two, trying to build up his game and tell me so that I would know going into final jury speeches oh, what's he done? LJ's this player, da 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 da. But all of it fell exceptionally flat because if you have time in the 10 minutes of time whenever it's live night and it's pre-eviction to record a goodbye message, that just feels like you didn't actually give a shit.
I agree 100%. That's why I feel like the term that comes to mind is fake. I mean, I get these games are about lying, it's Big Brother. However, a huge part of it is building connections, real connections. And I just really don't think that he did that. I feel like he was strategically trying to use his goodbye messages to gain sympathy for jury votes. But for me, it actually did the opposite. It just pissed me the fuck off. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that a lot of the times when LJ was talking, I think it did come off as an act and rehearse and stuff, you know. Wait, I'm too high to talk. Never mind.
Okay, I just want to say there were two comps. The one that I'm just going to mention it, that the one HOH that I won, the soda cans where Devin and I were at the end, he literally in 2 seconds dropped. I'm like, how the fuck did LJ drop in 2 seconds with that? And then the one you won, Marina, the when you and Amanda were doing, what was it called? He dropped, he dropped really quick with that too. And I was like, LJ's athletic. He goes to the gym. We talked about this. I'm like, why is he not? I don't know. To me, it was just an
Are there some competitions that I think he threw? Absolutely. Do I think he threw every competition? No. And if he did, that is so dumb because he was in trouble multiple times. So what is the logic to that? Or is he trying to make it look like he's more strategic than he is, where, oh no, I was throwing every competition, which is what it feels like. However, you did not throw every competition, and you're really going to have to try to convince me of that, because are you that cocky that you really knew that you were going to stay every time? I don't think so, because he was in jeopardy more than once.
And that crab one, that Gabby one with the hand on the cup and the spoon and the ping pong ball, going into that veto, I told him he would probably be the renom and he had to try hard. And then I watched him try hard.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's
and just
that's
still
exactly what I'm
lose.
saying.
So
Give that back to
caught
him.
up on that. Like, I don't think somebody's whole game should be judged by their goodbye message. Like, I think that that's just crazy. But also I think everyone should vote the way they want to vote. I don't think I'm upset at LJ for lying, because like it's the name of the game. Like, I do think LJ made a lot of mistakes, because I don't know why he would actually. I actually think LJ made a good. I think that LJ deserves a little bit of flowers, considering like I fucking hated LJ after the whole move that I tried to make, and he stayed. And like by the time I left, LJ was very high on my trust rankings. Like, so I will say he does a good job of making you feel comfortable. I think a lot of people are slighted by him because they feel like that he was never truthful with them. I don't think that's bad gameplay. I actually think that's really good gameplay. He's made it to where he's going to make it because he was close with Jenny the whole game. I don't think he should have thrown comps. I would like more clarity on that. I think that's something we should ask him if he does make it to the final two. Yeah, I don't really care that he lied. I think that's just the name of the game. So I've reflected, and I do think LJ could get my vote, but I really need him to like sell it, and I want to have some clarity on the throwing of the challenge, of the challenges, because I agree, I don't think he did that, and I don't think that would have been smart for his game.
To be clear, I didn't like, I was saying, yes, obviously he lied. And like I said, it's Big Brother. I get that. But then at the same time, you have to think like you're here to like make connections as well. And I just feel like this whole thing was just like a big facade for him. And it was like, what can I lie and like trick you into like thinking and believing? For me to like get further. And also he had no allegiance to like literally anybody. 0%. I don't see his gameplay. I don't think it makes sense. Also, like if you're this huge manipulative player, I remember there was like a moment too where it was like he like lied about something and got called out about it, and then was like, okay, yeah, sorry, I lied. And it's like, babe, if you're gonna lie, like at least go through with the lie. Like, why are you throwing your game and being like, okay, yeah, by the way, I lied.
Can I say something? You and Devin both fucking worked with him after that. He did that, and you fucking saved his ass.
No, yeah, but we saved his ass because I thought that LJ was a better choice than Benji. Benji was closer to you than LJ. So that was
that night, Devin, you flipped a switch and you were like, I'm done with Benji. And I think it was because of the conversations you had with both of them. So LJ did do a good job of saving himself there.
No, that's not why.
It was never about any of that.
LJ. It had nothing. No,
it was everything to do with Benji.
To do with LJ and everything to do with you.
Like you thought you controlled the game. Chill out. Like it is what it is, guys.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not
calm down. What are you doing?
Hold on. You're trying to like clock this as something that it's not. So I'm explaining it had nothing to do with LJ. It had everything to do with you, actually, because you were closer to Benji, period. We didn't want somebody in the game who was going to be closer
Debbie and Jenny came to
you.
us, and Debbie and Jenny, so we can talk about it since we're here. That vote, Debbie, remember when I came to you, me and Marina, and we told you and Jenny that that they were saying that everyone's trying to flip the vote, and Debbie said, no, they came to us. We were on the phone quiet, and they were campaigning hard to keep Benji, and that's the reason no one wanted to do that.
That's why we flipped. It had nothing to do with LJ, to be honest.
With LJ,
it's not because we wanted to work with LJ. We didn't trust LJ the whole time. It was because
everyone
wanted
in here
Benji.
saw my trust rankings except you,
LJ did
and you and Shelby were my top two the entire time. So I was telling you that I was with you guys before, and then when I heard that shit, that's what made us flip.
And listen, listen. I still think that LJ, who almost went home there, it may have been because of me and Shelby. For you guys, I'd love to know what other people think. I'm just trying to give credit where credit is due. He played somewhat of an okay game. I don't think he played this horrible game that everybody has been saying the past few days.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's why, I mean, I'm like torn on LJ, but that's why I'm kind of like, I want to know what he did that was like, look, I don't love that his goodbye message to me either. Like, I didn't know him and Jenny had a final two. I mean, I knew they were close, but like, he outplayed me. He outplayed all of us. Like, so that I'll give him credit to, that he made, like Gabby, what you said, he made me feel comfortable too. There were a few rounds where LJ was right up there on my trust rankings. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, shit, he must have done something to make me feel comfortable. So yeah.
He didn't make me feel comfortable at all. And I told Calypso multiple times. I told Devin multiple times. I told everybody multiple times. LJ cannot be trusted. LJ is fake. LJ is playing the game. And nobody wanted to listen to me. So he might have fooled you guys, but he did not fool me.
But isn't that good gameplay? Like, I don't understand how that's bad.
How is that good gameplay if I clocked him? That is not good gameplay.
Because you got out early and he's still in.
Okay, yeah, but that has nothing to do with his gameplay. To be honest, that's Marissa's doing. To be real honest, that was Marissa, not an LJ move.
I think he's still in. It's clearly not Marissa because he's still in. Marissa could have helped him get to the end, and I'm sure they were close. I know that. But that's
a little results oriented though. Just because someone made it to final three doesn't mean they played the best.
I agree.
I am result oriented. He's in the final three.
And he's not going to win.
Maybe
I have an idea.
He wouldn't win. I
Go ahead, Amanda, and then I'm gonna go after you.
One of the only things I enjoy doing on a jury is determining the most messy possible questions to ask the jury. So I would like, if there's an option to like pick questions for LJ, I want to know who out of the jury he was most loyal to and see what he says.
I think that's a good question.
That is a good question, everyone.
That is a good question.
I don't know. All I have to say about LJ is that he was the type of player that would come to me and expect me to give him information without him returning
and give nothing.
He says exactly what he needs to say, which like could be seen as a respectful move. That's not what I respect in an ally, but that's up to your decision. I feel like, I don't know, he's the only one out of him, Jenny, and Taisha that had the time throughout the game to like establish himself as a single. So like I think we need to remember that as well. Cause like I'm not saying that as like a good thing for his game. I'm just saying that he's in a position right now where he's been playing that game for a while, whereas Taisha and Jenny had duos for longer.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Which probably is why he wanted everyone to feel like they were his bestie and everyone to put him high on trust.
But also on the flip end of that, I feel like the singles had an easier time throughout the game because everybody was wanting to target duos. So at the end of the day, okay, yeah, he has been a single longest, but I feel like a lot of people weren't looking at the singles because they were singles. They were looking at the people who had partners. So I mean,
it's
on the
true.
flip side of that, yeah, I don't even see that helping his game either.
It's true. At the end, I feel like it was like me, Jenny, and Eli and Taisha that were constantly, I don't know, going on the block, I felt like.
I will say during my first HOH, I was set on getting a duo split up, but then LJ won the veto. So I had to kind of like work with him on deciding what to do with that. And he considered keeping the noms the same at first, but then I was like, what if we change the noms? And then he said he was dead set on Calypso going out then, and I didn't really want that, but he did make a point that it would keep everybody in the house happy, obviously except for Calypso. And then I talked to Eli and Taisha, Jenny and Debbie, and wanted me to be set up nicely for live night right after that, going into that, and to be in a better position to keep Amanda safe for that. So I was persuaded into putting up Calypso, which was LJ's number one target, obviously. And arguably, Calypso would have been my best ally out of everybody else in the game at that point.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like
just like numbers wise, I think LJ thought that Calypso would be like an easy renom, and we'd be put up as singles next to Calypso between the duos remaining in the game. And so I will say he was pretty persuasive in that point in the game for me.
Which, cool, great, but also don't think that's a winning move.
No, not necessarily a winning move, but just like
I
to
think
show
that gives us clarity,
how he
though, like that he wasn't
navigated
just sitting there.
the game.
That's very interesting. Like I would have, I was always like, why did Marissa put up Calypso? Because I thought y'all were close. So it was very shocking to me to see that Calypso went up, especially because I figured the right move there was to break up a duo. I forget who was on the block again, or it was Taisha, right? You could have put up Eli.
It was between the two duos remaining, basically.
It was so Jenny and I swapped, and then
Yeah.
it was
So Jenny and Tasha were on the block.
Yeah.
So would you have put up Jenny or Eli if you didn't put up, if LJ didn't convince you to put up Calypso?
I was probably gonna put up Eli, honestly. Sorry, Eli.
Oh no, it's okay. I was gonna say I feel like
Yeah,
part of
because
that
he would have taken Jenny down regardless. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I felt like the whole time he had the plan to take Jenny down, and he was hardcore pitching Calypso. He's like, Calypso's definitely going, Marissa's definitely doing Calypso. Like, I felt like you guys planned that because to me, he had told me that was the plan the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously fine with it because like I felt like I was the other option. So when LJ came to me and was like, "Oh, like I want Calypso out," like I was kind of going to Marissa like as well. Like, "Oh, let's go with Calypso."
yeah, and so that made a majority of the house happy, except for Calypso, obviously. But
I asked something. So when you did that, or I guess when LJ won, what did Taisha do? Like, did she come to you at all? Because to me, I thought, oh, Taisha must have convinced you to keep, or Eli must have convinced you to not put him on the block. But now I'm like,
not
oh,
come
so
to
LJ was
me,
able
Eli
to
did.
persuade
So
you to put up Calypso, which is like, that's mind blowing to me.
yeah, it was Eli who came to me during that
Okay,
time frame.
that is,
And I think that's because Eli, maybe you can
so I am
confirm,
gonna
because you had talked to LJ. I think Taisha was busy. I don't know why she didn't
I
come.
yeah.
So you were close with Calypso. So Calypso wasn't your target. You're saying it was LJ's target
No.
and he convinced you to put Calypso up to save
Right.
and to save Eli because he was not close with Calypso.
Yeah, I wanted to keep Calypso longer, but I also didn't want to like piss a bunch of people off before live night. So I was persuaded that that would be the best option.
So let me ask you this. Calypso and LJ apparently, I don't know where Calypso went, but I remember during live night before my HOH, Calypso said LJ tried to make a deal to be safe or with a bunch of people like, oh, let's save each other on live night. So that was like, and then LJ, I confronted him, was like, oh, that never happened. That was fake, whatever. So were LJ and Calypso not safe? Did they not make that deal? Like, was Calypso the only one that LJ was
I
not?
think that was more before the first live night. LJ at least had been going saying like, let's make a plan for live night. And then I told Calypso and Devin and Marina about that he had been doing that, and LJ hadn't brought that to Calypso. And so that pissed Calypso off and some other people. I think he was doing it more with the singles at that point, maybe not the duos, I don't know, but he brought it to me. LJ did.
LJ also brought that to Calypso and I also, because Calypso told me, and then that's when I realized that LJ was doing that.
And it's funny, I didn't really believe it at the time because someone told me, but I'm like, oh, he made the same deal with me. But like, I trusted him. I don't know. But I feel like he did this. He said the same thing to everyone that night, that first live night. Anyway.
Wait, what did he say? Sorry, I
tried to make a deal with everyone first live night that we wouldn't target each other. But I feel like he kind of, not verbatim, but like I remember hearing it from Devin.
Well, it was kind of verbatim because that's what triggered me when Calypso told it to me. I was like, wait, no one says that. It was like, we need to have a plan for live night, and I know that I want to see you on the other end of that and stuff like that. It was a bit.
Sorry to switch, but I have a question about Jenny. So Debbie, before I left, Jenny was like, as soon as I get the chance, like I'm gonna go after Devin and Marina. Like she said that to me, and I she could have been just saying that because obviously she knew those are my targets. But then you put up Devin. So like, was that a plan you guys always had, or was that really like after the veto was played, you just made that decision?
It was my plan.
Like the whole
Sorry.
time, was it your plan or was it you and Jenny's plan?
I mean, it was kind of both of our plans. I can't say what she would have definitely done if she won HOH. We talked about it. I can't say for sure what she would have definitely done, but I think she would have, but yeah, it was both of our plans. But like um yeah, again, I don't know for sure who was left at that. I think she was gonna put up Calypso. Yeah, Jenny and I talked about it. Like she knew. So if she told you that, that wasn't a lie.
Okay, thank you. That was good. I mean, I think that putting up Devin was probably bad for your game, but I think it was really good for Jenny's game. I'm sorry, like it was
Right,
No,
I
it
mean,
was
I'm
even
good
thinking
though it
for
was
about
your
it.
very
game.
entertaining.
100%.
No, I'm thinking about it. Like I wanted to make a
But
big
for
move.
Jenny, I think it was good for her game.
Well, yeah, because she didn't have to do
Oh,
it.
for sure, it's good for Jenny
Okay,
Yeah.
speaking of
because not
Jenny,
only is a huge target out, and she didn't have to make the move and get the blood on her hands. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like
However, do I think
I think
Jenny
that
would
was.
have made that move? I don't. Personally, I don't. And I would be interested to see what she has to say
But
about that.
that to me is better.
Yeah.
That to me is actually better because she knows that if she had made it, she would have been fucked. So
Oh,
if she says,
100%.
so you know what? That really gave me a lot of clarity about her because
Yeah.
I was okay. Well, she had done that. Just she would be in the same position as Debbie.
Mhm.
But if she says she wouldn't have done that, that's probably going to be my question. Then I would be like, you have my vote.
I
Well,
don't know if she really would have done it. I think she said to me something like, well, you have the guts to do it. Like, I don't know if she would have had the guts to do it. I don't know. Like, I don't.
I don't necessarily think it has to do with guts. I think that Jenny is a very strategical player. And I also think she was playing you, Debbie, as well.
Yeah.
From
She
my
was.
point of view, I think she said a lot, and I think that you fed right into it. But I personally think that that was more strategic. And I think by her saying, "Oh, I don't have the guts," was more of a, "Yeah, you do it, you do it, you do it." So I'm interested to see what she has to say for sure.
my
Yeah.
question for Deb, or not for Jenny. My question to Debbie about Jenny is there any move or any idea or anything that happened between the two of you that like she came to you about that like you guys wanted to make happen?
That she
I
was like
mean,
scared.
I know that like I mean, Jenny played a really good game, and I feel like I don't know if it's part of her game to like not give herself credit or if she really doesn't give herself credit, but she doesn't give herself credit. And she played a really good under the radar game. She never had to make the moves. I made the move. So she was always safe with my move, but I made it. I took all the backlash for it.
I think Jenny
She
set
did
herself up
get
really good, to
involved
be
a little,
honest.
but like your question was were good. So I did not know that she was closer with LJ than LJ was with Benji. So they were closer with each other than they were with our duos. Fuck, me and Benji should have gotten together. Damn.
Yep.
So like I mean, Jenny, she's like seems like so she's got that game side. In terms of what we talked about, I mean, it was really just like she basically told me like if this is endurance, you're gonna win. Like she kept telling me I have a way better chance of winning HOHs than her. So I don't know. Like I think she tried her best, but I don't know if she kind of I don't want to say let me win, but what plans did we talk about? She talked about like Devin has to go. He's going to win this game. We've got to get him out. You've got to win HOH and you've got to get Devin out.
And
So
I
she
think
probably had
that's
me make.
gameplay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
I
think that
think
was,
that's gameplay. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she had me make moves. So that's what we talked about. I mean, I knew when you guys were on the block together, like it sucked because I didn't want you to go, Marina, but obviously I had to keep Jenny. But I think that time we knew that Marissa was keeping Jenny. And like so she just kept saying, I'm never gonna go when I'm on the block because I'm not a threat. There's always bigger threats than me in the game. I'm the least threatened of anyone in the game. So when she kept swapping with me, whoever, Devin, you thought it was selfish. Like there was one time where I couldn't because I was on vacation, but the whole time she was like, let me swap with you. I am not a threat. I am not gonna go. I'm fine being on the block.
And
Like she
that's
was like
gameplay.
and she insisted to me, like, because I was like, are you sure? She's like, I want to swap. I'm not going to go. I'm never going to go. Let me be on the block because no one's going to vote me out because I'm not a threat to anyone.
Yeah,
So I think she
That's
played
kind of
up
that's
the
kind of
innocent.
clever.
Yeah, I think
It's
she played up the
ballsy.
innocent. I don't mind being on the block as a pawn. I'm never going to go.
That's
And I
ballsy.
do think, yeah, and I will say, Marissa, that night we both did have plans. Like as far as what she told me, she had plans. I can tell you 100% I had plans. So
You were
I
supposed to
was
play a mini.
yeah, I was supposed to play the mini exactly. So like I can tell you 100% that was true on my end. I'm pretty sure it was true on Jenny's end. I mean, she told me the same thing. So I was
I used to live where Jenny lived, so I actually asked both of you, like, what are your plans? And Jenny gave me a lot of details on like where she was going, because I was like, maybe I know the place. And she gave me a lot of details on where she was going. And you just said like hanging out with friends or whatever. And so I wasn't sure if like he's like, I knew Jenny had made these plans last minute in case she got evicted. And I thought maybe the same was true with you. So I was like, and then Chris had told me before the game started that he's used that kind of tactic before too, just to get information out of people for the vote. So I was a little skeptical, admittedly. So I do believe that
I get it.
plans last minute. I'm not doubting that, but yeah, we can move past that.
I was supposed to play many. I just basically just said I had plans. Like I was vague about it because I was just pissed. I was sitting there for 10 minutes. I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm not doing anything. So I was literally, I was like, if you're gonna vote me out, I'm fine. Just tell me so I don't cancel. Because I literally kept telling O'Rear, I don't know if I'm playing. I don't know. They won't like. So anyway, so that was real. Like I really was like, girl, just tell me if you're voting me out. Just tell me so I don't sit here all night. But yeah, but I think Jenny did have plans. Anyway, I don't like I know it sounds like a tactic, but she told me she had plans that night.
I think personally Jenny played a really good game.
In case
I have something that's kind of funny and kind of petty that I want to say, but is Jenny as clever as LJ wishes he was?
Think about it.
That's all I had to say. That's the sentence. That's the question.
It's more of a statement, and I love it because for real.
It's like I feel like based on what we've talked about, Jenny and LJ, I'm like, wow, I see how Jenny was like stacking the deck in her favor, and I think sometimes LJ's just got lucky. But I feel like Jenny was always very well insulated, and like there was proof of that too, because how many times was Jenny on the block, never went home?
Well, I will say, like, I never ever volunteered to go on the block. And there were times where Jenny volunteered. I was like, don't volunteer because that involves me. And she's like, well, I don't mind. And I'm like, well, I mind. Remember, Amanda, we were on a
that shows how comfortable she was and how set up she knew she was, that she wasn't going to go. And is it crazy? Yeah. Is it ballsy? Yeah. And I actually think that that's fucking good gameplay because guess what? She's still in the final three.
Is it true, Debbie, that for HOH, she even volunteered to put herself up as a pawn during your HOH?
I mean, she floated the idea and I was like, no fucking way in hell, so don't even say it. Yeah, she did. She was like, just put me up. I'm like, I'm not putting you up. Are you fucking nuts? But she did. She would always volunteer.
Come on.
She's volunteered.
I'm not
before,
rewarding
and I'm
that,
like,
but I do agree she's good and risky.
I
I would not volunteer to go up on my partner's.
No, I was like, are you fucking nuts?
Actually, you want to laugh? You want to laugh because Devin did. Devin did.
I know he did. I know you told me. That's crazy.
Wait, did Marissa, did she tell you that? She told you that
Somebody
she volunteered?
I think it might have been Jenny. Yeah, that she had volunteered to put herself.
She told me that too, but I think it was more of just like an anecdote. It wasn't really like
just to like assure me of
like
my
bait.
No, she probably told you that to try and like throw a little wrench in my game because I'm like, why the fuck would I put her up?
No, He was just doing that to assure me that I would be safe as the pawn in that.
Oh, yeah. I was like, she definitely felt comfortable because she never minded being on the block. But like the thing is, when you're in a singles game, it's fine. But I was like, don't volunteer because it affects me. And I don't
Right.
remember if I was on the call with Amanda or Marissa, but there was a call we had where she volunteered, and I think it was Amanda. I said, no, I don't volunteer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jenny,
yeah.
stop.
You know, sometimes people just float sometimes people are just brainstorming out loud, but that would have been horrendous. You would never have done it, Debbie.
I've
Nominate
never
Jenny when
done
you're
it in a million
HOH.
years. But
Yeah.
yes, she did say it. I would have never done it, but she did on calls like say, just put me up. I was like, don't volunteer, please, because it affects my game. And I remember when she said to Eli and Taisha, we were on a call, me, Eli, Taisha, and Jenny, when me and Jenny were on the block, she said to Eli and Taisha, just vote me out. Do you remember Eli? And after that call, I was like, why'd you do that? You just ruined, they're going to keep you over me. And she's like, no, but I want you to say, I'm like, this is your
No,
tactic.
but you know what? And again, I think that was tactic because every time somebody asked to go home, everybody wanted to keep the other person. And I think that was also strategic. And I want to ask her about that because it was like, did you really want to go home or were you just saying that in hopes that you were going to like do the opposite effect?
Right.
Yeah, because
I
she
also
knew every
think
time. Sorry.
I also think that kind of like Jenny gave this like a not appearance. She gave this impression that like she wasn't like holding on to the game with like for dear life, the way like some other people do whenever like they're on the block and stuff like that. And so I think that also like maybe she was really freaking out, or maybe she just had like a really like cool as a cucumber demeanor. So I'm like curious like what the actual feeling was, but either way, I think it's like, I don't know. I think there's something to be said. There's some kind of thought there about how Jenny always gave this impression that like she wasn't like desperately like clinging on to like the last lifeline or something whenever she was nominated, which I think's good.
I mean, I will say, like, when we had the alliance of the 8, and we were like, let's form it, like the Wet and Wild that blew up. Jenny specifically said, and whoever said Jenny started it was true. She's like, I'm like, well, I don't want to start it. She's like, let me start it. I'll do it. I don't worry about it. I'll start it. And I think that she like you said, like I made the bold move to get my like Marina, you were a target, Devin was a target, like Eli was a target. She was always, and then she had LJ on the side. So she was always in the majority, but she hid behind us. She was never someone that anyone wanted out because Jenny was never a threat. She was never winning anything. She was never making any bold moves. Even though I won one, like once I did that like she never had to do it herself. So I do agree that like I feel like that was part of the gameplay.
Yeah, I feel like Jenny played a very good shield game. She knew the shields that she
Yeah.
had to keep in the game, and she did. Um,
I agree.
so yeah, I mean, I do want to
Yeah, I
hear
feel like
just,
she
like
felt
how
like
intentional that
It
was, because
was,
like
yeah.
every conversation I had with her, like it was very much like I don't care if I go, like I want Debbie to have like the full experience, like all that stuff. So like was that her just being like tactful and like manipulative of what was going on, or was that her just saying like,
I
guys,
think that's going to be a huge point and everybody understanding how she plays. And I think it's going to either make or break her winning if she's in the final 2.
Agreed. Like she
yeah,
really
I will say I do think
strategy.
that oh sorry.
Yeah, like I agree. She really needs to own it as strategy instead of
agree.
going along with whatever.
Yeah. But I will say
What were you
like
saying, Gabby?
I was gonna say I will say she did tell me at one point that she thought Marina, you were a shield, Devin was a shield, Eli was a shield, and there was even a point where she's like, "You're a bigger threat than me." Like I feel like we were all shields to her.
100%.
Yeah.
So Debbie, you've played with Jenny in comps before, right? Like games before, so you know how she can do in comps.
I mean, I don't think she's a comp beast by any means. I've seen her win some comps though. I'm surprised she hasn't won any. I don't know if she won the final
Yeah,
2.
because that's something I want to find out too, is if she was also throwing comps like LJ probably was. Because I looked back at the veto challenge, my last veto challenge with the Pringles ring, And it was kind of pathetic at some points. Like she didn't even have stacks of chips for most of the time. So I was like, really, Jenny? Are you like really doing that badly, or are you just doing a bad job of throwing it?
So I don't know now if she threw them. As
I
far
don't
as she
think she
told me,
threw.
yeah, as far as she told me when we were in the game, she always tried hard. She wanted to win. She never threw.
Gotcha.
I will say though, Marissa, I think she probably feels very comfortable right now with Taisha and LJ. I would be surprised if either of them don't take her to the end.
I think they're both going to take her.
Yeah. So I
I
think
think
at this point,
personally, the only way that Taisha is in the final two is if Taisha wins.
I
Um,
agree.
and
I
I think Taisha takes Jenny, and I think if LJ wins, LJ takes Jenny.
Yeah.
I think if Taisha's going to sit in the final two, Taisha needs to win the final HOH.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's
I
why
can
I'm saying
say
like,
pretty comfortably that if Taisha wins, she's not taking LJ.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
well, okay, so going to Taisha, do you think if Taisha
I still have a
wins,
question. I still have a question about Jenny that I just want some clarity on because I wasn't there. Did Jenny know she was staying, Marissa? Or
I had told her I was voting to keep Debbie and that I was voting her out. So I think she was genuinely surprised once the results came out. And
so she was going to people like, oh, like she was going to Eli and Taisha and saying like, just vote me out, it's fine.
Yeah,
like I'm going.
And she did that to me too. Yeah.
Ugh. It's like every time I'm like, oh, I like this person's game, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like,
well, that's the thing. So she did
that's
tell
nasty.
me, she
No,
did
that's
tell
nasty.
me right before she went, she's like, I'm doing my goodbye messages to Eli and Taisha. Like, I'm saying goodbye. I'm going. I'm like, are you sure? Like, literally 8:30 in the morning, the night before, I'll make it lower. The night before at 8:30 in the morning, I was like, you're staying and I'm going. And she kept telling me it was not true. So, like, I didn't know what to believe, but I literally thought that the whole time. I was like, there's no
That's
way.
what I want to know. Like, was that gameplay or was she
Yeah.
really like, vote me out? Because if that's gameplay and she was trying to double bluff, cool.
Mhm.
But if that was just like, okay, give up, like, oh, just like that. And that's why I said she's really going to need to own her gameplay, because if that's what it was, that's amazing gameplay. But if it's not, that's going to make or break her winning.
How would it be gameplay if she didn't know she had the votes at all? That would never
Like,
be gameplay then, right?
I meant like a double bluff, you know, like vote me out, because whenever someone's like vote me out in this game, the opposite effect happens and everybody wants to keep that person. That's why I'm like, was it a double bluff? Or was it literally like, oh no, I want Debbie to stay, vote me out? Because that's going to be a huge like game changer ultimately on how.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Well, Marissa, that checks out because she told me 5 minutes before, Marissa told me you're staying and I'm going. And I said, well, Amanda's going to break the tie if Marissa votes me out. Like, you had the extra vote. I'm like, Amanda's not, I knew you were going to keep Jenny. She was less of a threat. But she specifically told me, Marissa told Marissa told Eli and Taisha. Like, I think she really thought that she was going. And I thought I was staying at that point. So I don't know. You'd have to ask her because that's what she told me. I think LJ was the only one and Amanda were the only ones that knew. But Marissa, you tell us who you told.
Yeah, I was going back and forth all day thinking about what would be best, like if I was just playing into LJ's game or if it would also make sense for my game or not. And I thought it would make sense for my game because I thought like in the event of like what happened with the final four, if I was on the block, I did think Jenny would keep me and not go along with LJ's strategy. So I had told, it was like shortly before, I don't remember timelines exactly, but I had told Eli and Taisha that I was voting out Jenny, and I had told Jenny I was voting her out, and I told LJ I was probably going to vote you out like we had talked about between LJ and I, because we thought Eli and Taisha wanted to keep you for a specific reason. So I told everybody what they wanted to hear basically, and Jenny seemed content with that, so I assumed that was what she wanted to hear as well, basically. So she did seem genuinely happy and excited when I talked to her afterwards to still be in the game.
Yeah,
And so
Okay, because I do think from what she told me that we thought it was the opposite, that she thought I was staying and she was going. But again, you'd have to ask her if that's a question, because that's what she told me.
Right. Yeah.
And it checks out, because if you told everyone that, then that makes sense. And why would she think
Right.
like you're
Yeah, I
you
think
played
that's
us.
what she thought at the moment when she told you. Because I do think she was actually surprised that she stayed.
Okay, let's move on to Taisha.
Aisha.
Queen
Mother
of the
Taisha, my winner pick.
Mhm. Mhm.
You did it
Um,
again.
So I think we
Yeah.
all know the pros of Taisha and that we all love her basically. So maybe let's talk about the cons.
Oh, you said let's get to the negative, bitch.
Well, I have a question. So I think, okay, I have a question. I like love Taisha. Oh my God, I think she's like amazing. I think Taisha played the best under the radar game. She was never a target. Like she won
Mm.
clearly when she had to. Never a target, like never gonna be on the block. Like she was always high on my trust rankings. I always felt like Taisha was like my girl.
She played the game that I wanted to play, but I couldn't because of circumstances early on. So props
Yeah.
to her. For
I
that.
will say too, like a huge thing with Taisha is like Taisha was so busy all the fucking time. And anybody else who was busy, everybody was talking shit about it. And oh, let's just vote that person out. Let's vote that person out. They're not active. But when it came to Taisha, nobody gave a fuck. Taisha was super busy, but was also active in the game to the point where it's like really speaks to Taisha's social game because as busy as she was, everybody felt comfortable with Taisha at all
So
points of the game.
my question I was going to ask was, because I don't know, like so I was in two alliances with Taisha, the Wet and Wild, and then we had one with me, Jenny, Eli, and Taisha. So I'm curious, like who else Taisha had?
I had
Obviously,
multiple alliances with Taisha.
okay, no, that's what I'm curious about. Yeah.
I want, yeah, go ahead, y'all. You go ahead, because I want to know if she was in any that I wasn't in.
I think you were in all of the ones that we were in, Eli.
I think so, yeah.
I
I will
wasn't in any alliances with Taisha, so I'm self-obsessed. It's not great for my jury vote.
Girl,
Not even with me, Roxanne,
who
and
are you gonna
Eli.
vote for?
There were no alliances with Taisha all season. I don't think I called her when she was at home one time. I had to like be having a conversation with her about the game amongst work chatter.
Well,
I'm still sad.
I don't know. I don't know if. Oh,
Did
sorry.
you ever nominate her?
Did what?
Amanda?
Yeah,
And
but then
here's
Eli,
my
but like
point.
Eli swapped.
And there's my
Yeah.
point.
Well, but like pre that was pretty.
For
late.
that was I don't even nominate her.
But
until
when
later.
you nominated her versus me, you probably knew I was switching with Jenny, and you probably figured she was switching with Eli, so you probably wanted Eli on the block, not Taisha.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So exactly. So you knew we were swapping.
Yeah, but
I
we never connected in the game. So like, if my vote's supposed to be like an homage to be like, I like the game you played because we played it together. Not that it would
Question for
be.
you, Amanda. If you
Yeah.
never connected and you weren't in any alliances, then why wouldn't you be looking towards Taisha to go home?
Compared to Eli.
Mhm.
Well, Eli had already nominated me.
I should.
Eli was
But,
probably
like-
good with Brad. He was winning things.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I don't
anybody
know.
would target Eli over Taisha
I
because
yeah,
of how
that's
well
very
he
much
was
how I
doing.
felt.
So and I think that Taisha knew that. I think it's funny as fuck that she didn't win a comp until she really needed to. She needed
I've seen Taisha play before, and that is how Taisha plays.
Yeah.
Very, very quiet,
That's
very
good. I'm saying it's
background,
good.
very does nothing the whole first of the game, and then turns it the fuck up right at the towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think Taisha did that again this game, and I think she fucking has been killing it. So
Yeah.
I'm
No,
really
I
interested in
agree.
what she has to say.
Yeah, I mean, she came second place a lot. Like she almost won. No, I think Taisha played an amazing game. I'm just asking, like, from a because I'm trying to see, like, someone asked what was the negative. Like, I don't have anything negative to say. So I'm asking for, like, curious, like, how was she padded? Like, how socially connected was she with everyone that no one wanted to ever nominate her?
Yeah, Eli,
Was super
maybe kind of
connected with me and
going off.
Devin.
I'm curious, because there are some things that I told Taisha, but I didn't tell you. So I wonder if she like passed that on to you all the time. Like, do you feel like she just told you everything and left you fully aware of every conversation that she had? Or do you think she withheld some information to like help keep her protected?
I mean, as far as I know, I would like to think that she told me everything. I feel like Taisha's the type of player that would tell me 95% of everything, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if there's something that she can keep out that's like not gonna come back up that could benefit her, then she's going to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do
I
think
have a
that like
question.
I don't know, like we were very much in the position where like I was winning the competition, so then like she would come to me with what she heard. So like
Mhm.
I do feel like she came to me with most of everything, but there is definitely a chance that she left certain things out.
Wait, I have
Yeah.
a question about so the round that Marina went home. So Taisha told us that she was gonna vote Marina out. So when it did come to a tie, we were shocked by that because we thought it would be 6-3 or whatever the fucking numbers were. I don't think that was right math, but
She kept
anyways,
Marina that round.
she
Yeah,
did.
she
So it was
did.
a tie.
Mhm.
But so she told us she was gonna keep her, and then when live night happened, I forgot that this happened because I was really drunk in live night. So take this with a grain of salt, but I do think she said this. She said that you, Eli, convinced her not to do that so that going into live night, she wouldn't look like bad to Devin because she didn't go against him. Even though she knew that Marina was going to go home, because she knew Marina was going to go home regardless, but she wanted to make it look like it was like she was still with you guys. Did she actually say that to you? Because if and it seems like you convinced her, but if she did that herself, take my money, bitch. That was so smart of her not to flip on that boat. She knew it
So
was gonna tie. She knew it was gonna go.
what I think and what was told to me is Taisha thought that I was going to go home, but she thought that the vote was all teetering on Marissa. And she had heard that Marissa was not going to go with it. But we had so many
She knew
conversations
Marissa
last
would.
minute. Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. We had so many conversations last minute where I was like, I don't know if Marissa's going to keep me, but Marissa keeps saying to me and other people that she is going to keep me. I said, so if you don't keep me, it's going to be, if Marissa does, it's going to be a tie and I'm going to go home anyways. I said, if you keep me and Marissa actually does keep me, I stay. I said, because if it's a tie, I'm going home.
But Marissa told her, right? You told Taisha you were voting me or voting Marina.
I told her that it would probably be a tie, and then the tie would be broken by you, and how
So
that would.
she can infer in that you were voting for Marina.
Yeah, a lot of the
LJ told her.
A tie with her vote, or you thought it was going to be a tie without her vote?
I told her it was going to be a tie without her vote, and
because I don't know, I have to hear from Taisha, but I think the way that she presented it to me was she was keeping me because she wanted me to stay, and she was hoping that Marissa was going to vote to keep me.
The way, okay, the way that it went for me was like at the beginning of that round, she like thought about it for a second. She was like, we could get Marina out. And I was like, I don't think this is the time. So like I guess that's me convincing her, but like we talked like that the entire game. Like it was back and forth, like what's best for the both of us, you know? So like it was she did bring it up like at the first conversation we had, and I was like, I don't think right now is the time. And she was like, no, yeah, you're right. Like, you're right. And so then, like, that was that. So, like, I guess you could see that as convincing, but I really don't think she would have went with that. Because her whole thing was like, Eli, I want you to have this experience. I want us to be on the same page. Like, and she could just be playing that up, which is good gameplay. But like, she never presented it to me like it was me convincing her. It was more just like us bouncing ideas.
So what I heard from Jenny that round, and I didn't get to talk to you guys because I remember vaguely remember I was busy and Jenny got on a call with you guys. What I heard from Jenny when Jenny and Marina went on the block together, that it was possible that you guys were talking about it. Now, this is from Jenny. I don't know if it's true. That it was possible, Eli, that you and Taisha were going to split the vote, that you were going to keep Marina and Jenny was possibly going to, I mean, Jenny, oh my God, I'm a little buzzed. That Taisha was possibly going to keep Jenny, but they weren't sure. And then I figured, well, Taisha's probably going to vote with Eli. So I heard you guys were possibly thinking of splitting the vote, but I don't know. That's just what I heard from Jenny.
Taisha was a lot more on the fence about it than we are seeing,
She
and that
was,
is
yeah.
the question.
She
Because
was.
she knew, LJ told her, Marissa, I know you don't think, I'm pretty sure I told her that Marina was going home, and she was like, I'm doing it. She knew it was happening. So if she decided to flip her vote back, she still knew it was happening, and that was a great move for her. And that's what I want clarity on, if that's the case. I do think she was more on the fence about it than you guys thought.
She was for sure, because I was nervous. I was talking to Taisha all day, but Taisha was like, Marina, no, 100% you're safe. I'm keeping you all day. But I was nervous because there was points where I didn't hear from her for a little bit. And I was like, Taisha, like, if you're voting me out, just tell me that you're voting me out so that I don't look stupid on live night and think that I'm staying. And she was like, no, Marina, I'm keeping you. But I will say that I was nervous that she was going to flip for sure. And then I spoke to her right before the vote, and she's like, no, Marina, she's like, I'm keeping you. She's like, hopefully Marissa is going to keep you as well, like you heard, because I heard that she wasn't going to. Are you sure? And I was like, I'm not sure. It's Marissa, but I think Marissa is going to keep me. And then obviously Marissa didn't. I went home, but yeah, I will say I was most nervous about Taisha flipping.
I
And
will
she,
say, like,
she was. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say she was more on the fence. Like, to answer your point, Debbie, like that was kind of my idea. Like, I was like, if you are on the fence about it, like we can split the vote. Like, and I think that will take the target off of us anyway, because people are expecting us to vote together. So like we did think about splitting it, and I was gonna vote to save Marina, and she was gonna vote out, like whatever, however that worked out. I'm also buzzed. But then at the last minute, she was like, no, that's crazy. Like, this is a duos game. We're gonna vote together. So I do think she was definitely more on the fence than I was.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I will say I did hear the vote was splitting, but when I heard it from Jenny, I was like, how are they not voting together? They're duos. I didn't really think you guys were gonna split it. But I will also say I genuinely was not sure all day if Marina or Jenny was gonna go. It was so like back and forth, and like
I
obviously
knew
like
it was all going to come down to Marissa.
I knew she was going, and I knew it was.
And you know what? I was telling Calypso and Devin all day. I was like, we can't trust. Actually, not even all day. Like honestly, for weeks, I was like, we cannot trust Marissa. We can't trust Marissa. We can't trust Marissa. Marissa was the flip vote. Marissa, and they were like, no, Marissa is with us. Marissa is with us. And I'm like, if you guys say so, but I fucking knew. And then I was like, that's the flip vote. That's the flip vote. And they're like, no, 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 no.
No,
Like
once
it
that
was
happened,
LJ.
yeah. Well,
And I was
Marissa,
like, I fucking knew it was Marissa.
Marissa, you were the flip vote every round. You said you were keeping Jenny when you kept Roxanne. You were the flip
That's not
vote.
technically a flip vote. She went out by majority, just to throw that out there.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's not a flip vote, but I should have realized the round I went out. But I'm saying like yeah.
Yeah, and I really didn't have any power in my votes until the first live night. So just to throw that out there.
First live night. Wait, what was the
Yeah,
first?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Taisha has played a really good game.
Mhm.
I think that is gonna be my question to her, because I want to know if she knew that Marina was going. I don't know. I can't think of a
She
lot
did
about
tell me that I was going. She told me that she thought I was going because Marissa was not going to keep me. And I was like, I don't know
so
if
then
Marissa.
Did you know
why
Eli that
don't you
Marina was
listen to
going,
her?
or were you
Wait,
not sure?
Pardon? What did you say, Gabby?
No, I said Eli. Did you know that
No,
Marina?
no, no, Gabby. Gabby's saying something.
I'm confused. So you didn't know that you're saying that Taisha told you were going?
Taisha came to me and she was like, do you have the votes? Because I don't think you do. And I said, I think I do with your and Eli's vote, I said, it's really going to come down to Marissa. And she said, and I don't think Marissa's voting to keep you. And I said, I'm not sure, but I will tell you that Marissa has told me and other people that she is 100% keeping me tonight. So I said, it's going to come down to Marissa. But Taisha was trying to tell me before the vote that Marissa was flipping and wasn't going to keep me. And she didn't think that I was staying.
So that proves to me that that was a great move for her to not vote you out, because then that makes her like
Devin,
that really
no,
paints
that
the
she
light on-
flipped.
and it paints the target on, unfortunately, Marissa.
Mhm.
who
Yeah,
was-
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And
a
that's
really
the
that's a great
Right, she wanted to
example
stay
of
in the good graces with everyone. She was never, nobody has anything bad to say about Taisha. No one was ever mad at her. She played a good, clean game. Sorry.
She never was in an alliance with me. That's bad.
Okay.
Girl, I mean, if that's the one thing that you feel like is going to sink her game, I mean, I feel
It's
like the other
not,
two have
but it
more
matters
cons
to me.
against than that. But if that's the only con that if that's the only mistake she made in this game,
Well, listen, it matters to me. That's why I said it. Because
that's
we've
fine.
been talking about finalists that I don't really care that much about. And they're probably going to tell us stupid bullshit tomorrow. And I want to go to bed. And it's 10:04. What new information do we have?
But I will say, if that was the only mistake that Taisha made in this game, kudos to
I
her.
feel we'll find
I
out
feel
some
like
more.
Taisha
Someone
was
should
like-
ask Taisha, what mistakes have you made?
I mean, I feel like Taisha was honest with everyone. Like when even though she didn't know who was gonna go, me or Jenny, she said to me, she's like, I got you, boo. Even if you're going, I'm keeping you no matter what. I've been loyal to you this whole game. I keep my word. Even if I'm on the wrong side of the vote, I'm keeping you to stay. And I think Eli is too, but I don't care. I'm loyal. And
I
like,
feel like she said that to everybody though when it benefited her.
oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay.
she
Well,
did
I don't know. I appreciate
I love liars. I don't know why we have to
No, I'm not saying that
Oh,
as a
not you,
negative.
Elena.
I'm saying that
I'm not
that
talking
is
about you.
okay.
I'm not talking
I don't know. I'm just saying Taisha
Well,
never
Debbie,
lied.
like, I don't think she ever lied. Like, I want her to lie, and I think she did. And I think
She
there
did,
are times
for
like
sure.
the best vote, I thought she was voting out LJ. Like she did a good job of making me feel good in that vote. So I think she never was the main enemy, and I think that is a really good strength to have. Like, she wasn't playing the middle. I don't think she was playing the middle, but I think that she was never the main enemy against the other side. So like, you're always going to target Eli before her. You're always going to target Devin, Calypso. Like, she was in such a great position, and that is her strength. It's
And
okay that she left.
question, has Taisha played this game before or been on prod? Because I heard this.
Yeah,
She's
I think
on-
she played
Production.
Yeah,
Five
she's
or
on
I
production.
think that that's also crazy that she's in the finale, having been on prod and played this game before, because I feel like that automatically would put like a bigger target on her back as well. And I just don't think that anybody really talked about that or noticed it. If people did
I knew.
know that,
I
like,
knew. I knew Taisha was on 1984 prod before, but then that like
yeah, because
I think
did you play with her?
no. But I knew that Taisha was on before, so I always kind of like had a like assumption that Taisha might know kind of like the energy of like the prod team for stuff. And so I don't think I wasn't targeting her for that. If anything, I gave her a little more grace because like Taisha was on prod whenever I played Surviving 1984 for like 4 rounds, and then I was on prod when Taisha played Cutthroat. Did
I feel like
know
that's a
that
connection
Taisha
she
played
could have
the
tried
same?
to use. Why didn't she use that with
I don't
you?
know why I was not in an alliance. I don't know why I was not in an alliance, okay? And also, did you know that Taisha and Gabby played Cutthroat the same
Your
I
tribe.
think
I
Taisha
knew
did a very
that.
good job
They
of
were in
like
the
staying out
graveyard
of.
together for 5 minutes. And
They-
you know,
5 minutes.
about
That's still
Taisha,
more than
in
0.
that game, she convinced me in the matter of like 5 to 10 minutes to play with her. Like, I was going in, I was like, I don't know her. She's really good at like just getting you to like her. So that is just a good quality.
You feel
but, yeah,
comfortable.
we didn't really play Survivor together. So
I was gonna say I think
sorry
that
we weren't in the
Taisha,
Lion.
I was gonna say, I think Taisha's like very likable, and I think that she just like right away I liked her. Like I feel like she's very good at getting you comfortable with her. And I think like she stayed out of the drama, she was under the radar, but she always made it seem like she was on my side, had my back. I don't know. So like she was always high. I feel like she's very likable. Like
Social game at 100. Well, I guess besides Amanda, maybe. Sorry, babe.
No, that's a good bit. It's a good bit. Maybe that should be my question to Taisha. Also, I do have a messy question for Taisha for the jury, perhaps. It would be like, I want with like no kind of like hint to what the answer could be. I want somebody to ask Taisha if she thinks that she had to win out final three HOH to get to the end or not. And
or she
why.
knows that Jenny
She
and
knows
LJ.
she needs to win for
Well, I
sure.
just want to see what she says.
She
Yeah.
knows the answer to that.
Well,
Yeah.
she said something wild and crazy. I don't
know.
know.
I wanna
I-
ask her about, okay, I don't feel like I can ask her this because like I'm her partner, but like about like comps and stuff, because like I felt like I had to like when we were up for going, like obviously like I had to win the comps. So like I became the threat between the two of us. So like
That's
was that
strategic.
intentional or was that like just
I
how it
think
shook out?
fair question for you to ask her. Even more valid question, I think, coming from you than other people. So
And I don't think it's
Yeah.
necessarily for these like things that we're saying where like if this person did X, then that's strategic. I think some people can like acquiesce and like let stuff happen while recognizing that it's good for their positioning. So
Oh,
like
actually, I have a question for Eli. Everybody seriously thought, and I said I did not agree, that you threw that endurance competition when you were with Devin, and I was like, ain't no way Eli threw that. And people were so adamant that you threw it. Did you throw that competition?
Wait, the one with Devin or the one where I had to guess
The
the
one
second?
with Devin, the endurance with the cups.
Oh, where I was out of frame?
the mini games where you just stack 6 cups on your hands. That was a conspiracy
Did
theory
you
for a
throw
minute.
that?
No, I was so
I
okay.
knew it. I fucking
Production, I love you. I was so mad at production. I was like, where did the fucking cups go? They're here. They're here. I was like,
Yeah.
sorry, it's not in frame. Like, where did they go? You didn't hear anything hitting the ground. Like, I don't know. I was mad about that for like a full day, and then I was like, it's fine. Like, go Devin, whatever. But like that comp, no, I did not throw.
It looked like you won, but then you were out of frame, and then
I was
He
out of
did.
frame.
He had this stack, and then they were like, "You're not in frame," and then he was like,
Eli tried to like
smash.
move back,
going
and
like
then they
this?
fell, and he for sure threw that. And I was like, he did not throw. Like,
I did
ain't no
not throw.
way.
What anyone says, I did not throw a single
It
comp.
didn't look like a throw to me.
Gabby, I was probably high that day, whatever.
Probably
I
you
did
guys
not.
300 seconds. Like that was crazy.
Babes, I'm an
You know
English
what's
and music
crazy?
bitch. I ain't no math bitch. I was smoking. But no, I did not
I
throw.
had that number written down. Like I knew they were gonna ask that fucking that question. I
Yeah.
knew they were gonna ask it. So when you said 300, I was like, I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, I know it's 9,000.
Wait, hold on, Debbie. I have to ask you a question. I tried to throw, first of all, in the beginning, so many competitions, and I kept winning. So fucking annoying. But I specifically tried to throw a competition to you, and you wrote 5,800. Was that intentional?
Swear to God, I wanted to win. No, I did not mean to throw it.
I was like, I'm trying to throw to Debbie, and ain't no way Debbie did 5,800. Like, you threw that.
No,
5,800?
I swear I did not. I swear I did not throw. I'm just an idiot and I forgot the name and I'm like, fuck, I put the wrong number. I'm like, shit, I even told Jenny, I'm like, I wanted to win and it looked like I threw and I didn't. No, I got to the end. I wanted to win that. I just put the
My whole freaking confessional was like, fucking Debbie, 5,800, 5,800. I'm so
No, I
mad.
just couldn't do math. I meant to put 58,000. I'm like, oh fuck, that was 2 hours. I'm like, I don't remember. No. I
was
didn't
like, at
do
this point now, I
anything.
just have to
I'm just
fucking keep
kidding.
winning. I was so annoyed.
Oh, I think we like kind of talked about the players' games, but what I'm very excited to see is the finalists, whatever the final third person says, and then whatever the speeches say, I want to see where people are telling us stuff that does not even match. what we're saying on this round table, because I feel maybe that's either because all 8 of us are wrong or they're delusional. And I want to know, how delusional are they?
Yeah, I
Who do you think is coming in next?
I would love to say LJ.
well, so we need to know who won part 2.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
who do we think won part 2?
okay,
What
so
it was
let's kind of lead into that because I feel like we're kind of getting to a point of wrapping up.
Yeah, wrap it up, Michael.
So before I tell you who won part 2, tell me the difference that it makes based on who wins.
Well, if it's Jenny versus Taisha, then
I think Taisha has a good chance of winning the final
Yeah.
against Jenny. If
it's-
LJ is saying what is true, where LJ threw everything, and LJ does win, I think that it's going to be a good head-to-head for the final HOH with LJ and Taisha. I think if LJ wins, LJ evicts Taisha and takes Jenny. I think that if Jenny wins, I think Taisha wins final HOH and takes out LJ.
do you think
And
if Jenny wins both parts 2 and 3 that she
I
takes
think Jenny takes LJ.
Yeah.
You think she'll take LJ? Okay.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
it definitely does matter. That's why I'm like, who won part
yeah,
2?
because we might have talked about this whole jury roundtable, and if you tell us that wait, that's not, never mind. Take it back. Taisha won part 1. I'm so dumb. Thank you.
So who won part 2?
Do we know? Production.
Okay, so I can confirm that part 2, they competed where LJ and Jenny each had to put on a blindfold, and then they had to repeat back to us in order something that happened in the game. There were 3 different rounds of it, so whoever got 2 points first would win. So whoever made a mistake, the other person would get a point. So round 1 was naming the evictees in order. They went back and forth and got every single one of them. So nobody got a point down. Round 2, they had to name the HOHs in order. LJ won the point. And then round 3, they had to name the power of veto winners in order. And LJ got the point. So LJ won part 2. So part 3 tomorrow night will be between Taisha and LJ. So tell me, know that information, what that changes for you.
I was hoping Jenny won.
Not much, to be honest. I hope Taisha wins.
Poor Jenny.
I was hoping Jenny won something.
Wait,
But
did
you know
Jenny
what?
win no competition
Truly?
this whole season?
no, I don't think she would throw
And you
that
know what's
much.
even funnier with that? I feel like no matter who wins, Jenny is going to be sitting in final 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but I think Taisha should take LJ. And I don't think she will, but if Taisha took LJ, it would be a fucking 8-0 or 9-0 vote. Like, I think, I'm sorry. I think we can all agree that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
and I will
I-
say, yeah, she might. Like, she's smart enough to think about that. And like, if she wins this HOH, she might, because she knows.
Taisha's very strategic, so I could see that happening. And I
Yeah.
think that if she does win, she's going to think of like everything, especially how we're thinking and what we're going to do. And I could totally see her doing that.
Yeah.
But
think
I,
most
like I
people aren't
said, I
happy
feel
with
like
LJ.
if LJ wins, LJ takes Jenny. I think if Taisha wins, Taisha needs to win to stay, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm really rooting for her.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so obviously
I love
it's
Jenny,
between
but-
Taisha, it's between Taisha and LJ to decide. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
LJ is definitely going to take Jenny because he thinks he can beat Jenny, right?
Yes. Yep.
Exactly.
Wait, guys,
For a
Exactly.
rude
doesn't beat-
awakening.
So
can you
LJ
believe
doesn't
we
beat
have
anyone.
a woman winner of this season? Like, a woman is winning tomorrow.
I was gonna say, I don't think
Period.
LJ is not beating anyone,
I
right?
can't wait to sit and when it's time for me to ask him a question, I'm just gonna be like, do you really think you can win?
No, this is going to be my question for LJ. Close your eyes, and we're going to go through the jury. And I want you to raise your hand for who you think you have their jury vote. And I would love to see who he is going to raise his hand for.
I bet you he's gonna, if it's not Jenny, I mean, listen, if it's Taisha versus LJ, I'm voting for Taisha, likely, but I bet you he's gonna think he had my vote, even though he told me I didn't trust you, I trusted Jenny. I really think he's gonna think he had my vote.
I
I'm
just
curious
want
to
say
see
to
who
him,
he's going to
look at me
raise
for
his
5
hand for.
seconds.
What?
I said, I just want to just pull a Devin. Look at me for 5 seconds. You're not winning.
Bitch, do I look like I care? Because I don't.
So I am going to wrap up the stream. You guys are more than welcome to hang out here on call as long as you'd like. But that has been our jury roundtable. Tomorrow night, you guys will be voting for the person that you want to represent your season of 1984. This is not an easy task, I'm sure. So I will see you guys all tomorrow night.